All right, welcome back now. Let's say we've got our level and we've made a character. We may have a nicer sprite than that. Um, and we've started spending a bunch of time designing a great level and we want to have somewhere to get to because generally we start at the position, we get to some kind of goal and we progress to the next level and we can make our levels more and more complicated to further engage our players. So let's look at creating something like that. And for this, I'm going to make a brand new scene because I'm going to want to reuse this node or this goal, let's call it, again and again and again. And we can grab any kind of graphics that we want. I'm just going to use a Godot head temporarily here. So I'm going to make myself a brand new scene. And the scene root here is going to be something a little bit different because it doesn't really make sense to have this as a platform or a block or something. It's something we want to hit, but I don't want to stand on top of it. I want to just collect it. And we have a special node called an Area 2D for this. And if you look at it, it says a region of 2D space that detects other collision objects entering or exiting it. So this is great for all sorts of different stuff. Um, Triggers, goals, checkpoints, bullets, things like that that essentially don't interact with the world around it, but detect interactions. So I'm going to create myself an Area 2D, and I'm going to call it goal. So now I've got a goal, and much like everything else, it needs a collision shape and a sprite to work properly. So I'm going to just add a sprite 2D to this. And for now, because I don't want to go find a graphic, I'm just going to use this little Godot head, and maybe I'll shrink it in a weird flat manner so I know it's not my player. And also to that, I'm going to add a collision shape, which we will pick a rectangle here. And just like everything else, we're going to make this. We pick the node, we add a sprite to it and a collision shape, and then I am going to save this scene. And it's called goal scene, which is going to be great. I'm going to put that into level one. So now I go back to level one, and I'm going to instantiate or add that scene as a new node. That way I can reuse this over and over again. So I'm going to click this little link rather than creating a new scene. And then I get to pick the one I want. And I would like to instantiate a goal, and we can see the goal appears right up there. And I know it's its own scene because it has the little um, link there, much like we did with the player here. And I'm just going to move it over to a position. Well, I don't need to go too far. Let's make it quick. So at the moment, if I were to play this level, I now have an area here. There's the Godot head. You can see that I pass right through it because it has no physical properties. It's not supposed to stop me or anything like that. But there it is, and it does know that I'm there. It detects that whenever something hits it. And we I'm going to use this to go to my next level. Now notice I don't have another level, so I should probably create a second level. And I'm just going to make a brand new scene. I get a 2D scene, and I could build this. I could copy my first one here, but I'm going to just start with a brand new one so that I know I'm here. Level 2, and to that I would add the player and the tile map and the camera and things like that. So I'm just going to save that. So now I have a level 2 ready to go. And the idea is when the player hits this goal, it's going to move on to level 2. And then you can start to do some even more interesting level design there. But I need to let that happen or figure out when that happens. So I'm going to do this over here with something new called signals. And basically signals are ways that two different nodes can communicate with each other. And I want the goal and the player to do something. When the player hits the goal, I want something to happen that's new. And if we click over on node here, you will see that each type of node has a series of different signals that come with it. If I click on the player, you'll see that the signals change. If I The camera has its own set of signals, and an Area 2D has a very specific set of signals. And it's all right here. And you can see there's a body entered and a body exited. Be careful, it's not the body shape, it's the body. So I want to know when a physics body, that character 2D, has entered into that, this signal gets triggered. Now, this signal gets triggered regardless of whether I program it or not, but right now it's not doing anything. So it knows that it's been hit by a body. But what I can add is a script, or I can add an action to make something happen when the player hits that, when this signal gets emitted. So in order to do that, I need to add a script to my goal because I want to keep this on the goal. In fact, I'm going to put this on the goal scene. I'm going to add a script here. And now it's ready. So back on my level 1 here, I'm going to say when a body enters it, I'm going to connect that up. Oh, cancel here, sorry. Make sure when you create the goal and that I save this so it knows it has a scene, that it knows it has a script. Go back there, now you can see the script appears. So I'm going to say when a body enters the goal, I'm going to send a signal somewhere, and I can send a signal to any node that has a script on it. So the player, I could send a message to the player saying, "Ooh, I got hit," or in this case, I'm actually going to send it to my own script. I'm going to send it to myself. And you will see on the script, immediately I'm on the goal here, we've got a function on body entered. And there's a little green arrow here which indicates that we have a incoming signal and I'm supposed to do this thing, whatever it is. Now, at the moment, it does nothing, but what I want to do is actually change levels. And to do that, since I've already saved my level 2 over here, I can use this following function, get tree. And that's a bit of a weird function, but that basically means go into our resource tree here. Period. And then I want to change the scene. I want to pick a different scene. I don't want level 1, I want level 2 now. And you'll see immediately pops up a nice helper here. Change scene to file. And I get to pick the file. And if I put quotation marks here, up will come a list of all the particular files that all the scenes that I could change to. So I'm going to pick level 2. So get tree, change scene to file, level 2. And if I now play my level, you will see as I approach, whoop, I immediately get sent to level 2, which currently has nothing on it. But you could now build yourself an amazing level here. So take some time, have some fun, and start building a few levels.